What is? Wait, what?
I didn't do a thing.
You did it. I saw it. Welcome to Loud and Nerdy on a Tuesday night. It is our last show of 2024. I'm so excited to be here. I'm also excited for a well-deserved vacation for all of us. But I'm also excited about the holiday, and I'm also excited about having my friends. I do want to talk to you, Jerry. You got a big surprise this past week, right?
Yes, sir. I did.
Some shocking things happen on Friday night.
Yes, indeed.
That everybody.
On Friday the 13th.
I got duped.
That everybody kept quiet. That I knew, Kyle knew.
Yeah,
we all knew.
My wife had this all figured out to a T. I was even in a group text about this because we normally get together with work people around this time, and that's how they sold it. And as soon as I rounded the corner and walked in, and I saw like everybody, I'm like, "Son of a!"
Yeah.
But it gets better. It gets better though, because on Thursday night, I've been trying to get Jerry a Fire Stick for a couple of weeks now for to take care of for me there. And I also had a couple of items that myself and Raven and Melissa picked up for him for his birthday. So I met him at band practice on Thursday night going, it's the only chance I'm going to have to see you for a while. So happy birthday, man. Here's the stuff the night before the party. And he's telling me all about his 40th surprise party that she gave him. He's like, I hope she doesn't do something like that again.
So they got me this, right? So there's two of these. These are the CED discs. It's part 1 and 2 of Cuckoo's Nest, right?
Okay.
So that's what he brought Thursday. And he brought this Thursday, too. This Chucky.
Oh, okay.
Poster.
And Gremlins.
Right.
Oh, we just did Gremlins on Generation Movie last night.
Then I got a magnet. This Creep Show picture. This thing's awesome. And the Friday the 13th NES game. And I did hear that Raven was involved with this too. So thank you very much, Raven, as well.
I got to go out and come back. Hold on.
Go out and come back.
They just have Florida internet, you know.
Yeah. So. But this stuff's awesome. I put the magnet on the fridge. That's why I don't have it here. I have to get a little frame for this. I have things, but this doesn't fit, so I have to get a frame for this, which is fine. They're not that hard to get.
Yeah, Jerry,
then I need a player for these because I have a bunch of these different movies. I started looking for players already, so I just want to find one close to the area. You know, I don't want to have to drive all the way to.
There he is.
Bumble.
I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah,
I think I don't know what the fuck's going on. It is what it is.
StreamYard's been having some issues ever since for a couple weeks now. So.
Well, I think we have a lot of things going on in the house. We're going to add more things for Christmas, so I'm sure it's going to get much better. In my 2 weeks, I'm gonna try to make sure we add. I don't know. I got stuff I got to do. So this is the theme of his Friday the 13th birthday.
Thank you. It was great.
Look at this.
My wife's friend's mom made that. She made all those centerpieces.
Look at the centerpieces of his Friday the 13th, and then this is the gal that got him. Behind Jerry is his wife Ashley, who got him, and we helped. We were good little elves. We were like, "Oh, we got nothing planned for this week."
I'm like mad at myself that I didn't know though, or that I didn't even think about it.
You know, the great part about it was you were talking to us last week on the show, and we're like, offline. I sent something to Kyle like he doesn't fucking know anything. Like
I didn't.
It's unbelievable.
I was even walking down the hall of this place, and I'm like, "Wow, look at this ceiling here. It reminds me of the haunted house at Rocky Glen." And my buddy's behind me laughing like, "Yeah, it does." And then I round the corner like, "Surprise!
Surprise, idiot! We got you."
There was a lot of people. That was awesome. It was great.
Part of that centerpiece is still in the back of my chair. Kyle's are driving around town with a mask glued around the back of the chair because nothing says Christmas like Friday the 13th.
Also, Friday the 13th or December, it's Christmas.
Great picks, awesome balloons. They were amazing. Let's talk. Let's get into movie talk, really, guys. I didn't want to screw it up. Well, we said happy birthday to him, but then we said it offline too, and then it was like, you were so in, and you didn't even know it. It was amazing. Anyway, I love my. It was very much like Wally World.
Sorry, folks.
Sorry, folks. The moose should have told you. Let's talk about the most important pop culture thing happening this week. And why is it the Superman trailer drops at 9 a.m. on Thursday morning? Because of this. This is such a good poster. It's so good. For many reasons. In its simple nature, in its colorful scheme, that sets it apart from the terrible, awful, no good, very bad, Zack Snyder films. And it has the all-important thing of a great tagline. Because the tagline for the movie is "Look Up." And I was thinking about this. Can't talk about it till next year, laugh out loud. Shut up. You shut up, Raven. We'll talk about it. The trailer's Thursday at 9 a.m. And then you see it all weekend when you go to Mufasa and Sonic. But the teasers Look Up, and it very much reminds me, Jerry, of You'll Believe a Man Can Fly, right? Simple, basic, look up, and it's twofold, right? It's because some people's chins are down right now. Everybody's kind of like mopey or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we're still a little mopey in this country. I don't know what's going to happen after January. We'll see what happens. Mopey, right? But look up. There's something to look forward to. There's something to be happy about.
They're called drones over New Jersey.
Well, they just announced that all these people who are saying drones over New Jersey can't tell the difference between drones and planets. So, are you shocked with that concept that the governor of the state of Maryland, the former governor of the state of Maryland, went out with a bunch of troopers and started talking, like taking a video going, look at all these drones. And like somebody got on who's like an actual scientist and was like, 3 of those drones are in Jupiter's belt. So, in all honesty, anyone knows JW knows the big Superman guy is going to be a great year for it. Is. It's going to be a great year. I mean, the story that came through, my other favorite story of this week is that this movie bombed so hard that Sony might sell the rights to Spider-Man back to Marvel. Yes, let's go. Right now. Can we do it? Can we have it for Christmas? It would be like something under the tree waiting for every comic book fan, because we'll never have to sit through another movie like this ever again. And I know Missy liked it, and I'm sorry. But the other thing she said in her review is, I don't have any ties to Spider-Man. I don't know anything. So that is part of what, so we go from excitement, and then I had to see this, and I saw it for you, so you don't have to. Promotion behind it. No, it bombed because it's a bad movie.
There was no promotion behind it.
Yeah, there was no promotion because they just want it to go away. They just need it to go away. It'll be streaming in a week and a half. So, yes, let's get rid of the Sony bad Spider-Man movies. I will say this, and I said something before the show that I will not repeat, but I will say what I feel about it. It is the best of the terribly lousy bad Spider-Man movies.
Why does Sony go, okay, Marvel, you can help us with Spider-Man, but with none of the other of these movies?
Because they want all the money from the movies. Venom made a ton of money. So what happened was they thought they had the hi one first. Wait, who was that? First time here. Let's say hi to them. Go back. Hi everyone. First time. Hi Elizabeth. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Okay, now put up Missy's comment that's gonna talk about Craven. If you like John Wick, it's not John Wick. It's the action's not John Wick, Messy. Come on. Storyline was good, was it? Not if you know anything at all about Craven, or Chameleon, or Rhino, or any of the other number of characters they completely misappropriated in all kinds of ways. Calypso, completely destroying Calypso. So you should have an opinion. You actually seen it. It was really good acting. It was trash. Bad movie. That's why it bombed. It didn't bomb because nobody knew about it. It bombed because
a bathtub full of water in the right place at the right time.
But Missy, you hate. So wait a second. Missy hates John Wick and then thinks this is a good movie. The action sequences in John Wick, the last 4 John Wick movies, the action sequences. Did you see it?
Saw it.
Just reading. I saw it, Missy. It's a pile of trash. It's garbage. It's garbage because of who the characters are. It's garbage because Chameleon shouldn't be a dopey kid brother that whatever the design of Chameleon was. The Rhino design was terrible, and laughter. It elicited laughter.
And I can't wait to go see it now.
In the screening I was at, pure laughter. Like there's a moment where Rhino jumps on a top of a car and yells out, "Raven!" And it's that good. Like, I'm terrible. And that was probably as good as...
I just want a video clip of JW doing that. That's all I need.
That's how it is. I would make a joke, but in reality, that's how it comes across. And the entire theater I was at,
it did sound like he was saying Raven. It did.
Raven! It reminded me of the guy. Do you remember the guy in RoboCop, Jerry, who gets hit by the car after going through the vat of chemicals?
Oh yeah.
And that's like, and the special effects are terrible. Like, they're awful. Now, is Aaron Taylor Johnson good?
But
yes,
not in RoboCop.
because he's a good actor. Enunciate the K, please. Raven. Anyway, it was not good. Then I also saw on the same day I saw War of the Rohirrim, which is the Lord of the Rings movie. And I talked to Rich about this last night. Rich understands all the appendices and knows all about Lord of the Rings, and it's a movie only for him.
You did. That was up on the screen for like 3 minutes, and you didn't even notice it.
We're talking about Craven. We're talking about Craven. I thank you for saying.
How many times can we make JW do it?
I'll do it. I'll do it all through the show for everyone. But yeah, I thank you for saying I'm a beautiful person, and we disagree about movies. But to compare this movie to John Wick that's insane. That's insanity, miss. The level of quality in the John Wick movies, very high. Craven, not hot at all. And so bad. And again, so bad. There's no cut sequence at the end for anybody who wants to go see it. There's no cut sequence. There's no reminder that it's part of a shared villain universe, because they knew it was a tanker when they released it. And then I saw War of the Rohirrim, which is good. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. And it's about a non-named character from J.R.R. Tolkien's appendices to Lord of the Rings. John Wick literally kills people that had nothing to do with killing his dog.
Oh, Jesus, let's not get sidetracked.
John Wick is pathetic.
Well, if they weren't,
you like Craven, so I don't.
They'd be okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
a quick Lord of the Rings.
I saw Craven, so no one else had to. But War of the Rohirrim, again, it's good. It's solid. Good animation. Pretty good action. A couple, name drops here or there that tie it to three big name drops that tie it to the Lord of the Rings movies. But that's about it. It's not for everybody, and it's 2 hours and 40 minutes, and then, the funny thing about these two movies, what do these two movies have in common? Here's the interesting thing. And this is something I learned Friday.
They both have gauntlets on?
They both have gauntlets on, yes. They wear leather armor. Yes, true. But also, Craven was made specifically... Well, live action to cartoon because they're trying to make cheap. But here's where it gets cynical, and then we'll bring in our first guest of the night, Lawrence. who's waiting patiently in the green room for me to go, Craven! Anyway,
And you lost.
Craven and Lord of the Rings are both made with the express consent of holding on to rights. So War of the Rohirrim is a $30 million anime movie that they made specifically so that New Line could hold on to the rights to the Lord of the Rings movies because they have a bunch of Lord of the Rings live action movies coming out in the next 2 years. So it's the exact same kind of thing as Craven, except the quality's higher and it actually pays attention to the source material.
I'm looking over at my shelf over here. I have the old Lord of the Rings, the cartoon or whatever on beta.
Oh my God, really?
I have that somewhere on beta. I know I do.
I'm sure it was a good movie until it happened. Raven just choked on a goldfish cracker laughing. Fair. I try. I do my best. Also, one last thing. Saw this. Let's talk about this madness. Saw Carry On Thursday of last week, and it cost me this. It cost me my Whamageddon. It's the first time I've ever been out, people. You don't have Lord of the Rings, you have Hobbit. Okay.
That's probably what it is.
That's probably true. So Carry On, in case anybody's wondering, has Last Christmas in it. About the hour and 10-minute mark. And I'm out of Whamageddon for the first time ever. And I'm sad. I've never gotten caught. Fuck. Okay, we have a very busy show tonight. So my meandering will... Box office was pretty great for Moana and Wicked. Everything else, bleh. Especially Craven. Bleh. Troy Hill. Are you coming on? I heard you're coming on later. Good to have Troy Hill here. He's going to be joining us after Lawrence. JW is bitter about what? Enjoyed it, laugh at.
About being knocked out of Whamageddon.
I am bitter about being knocked out.
I haven't heard that song yet either.
Being knocked out. Wait till Troy gets here. We'll talk movies and stuff with Troy as well.
Does it count if somebody starts singing it?
No, it doesn't count if it's a cover. Has to be George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley, and they play it in a car during a car action sequence. And I was like, "Fuck me!" And I did research beforehand. I checked Wikipedia for every playing of Last Christmas in movies, thinking maybe it's in here because right at the beginning of the movie they start playing recent Christmas music. So I was nervous, and then it just hit me in the middle. And I was like, but okay, that doesn't change the fact that we have a lot of guests tonight. Our first guest is from Mondo Docs. He's doing all kinds of cool documentary stuff on a YouTube channel that's exploring, explorations, hauntings, legends, macabre stuff, fun, ghostly stuff. He also goes to haunts, so Haunted House, Frank's Castle. I'm pleased and happy that he's joining us tonight, right? Lawrence, welcome to the show. Hi, Lawrence.
Hey.
So you're Mondo Docs on YouTube, right?
Yes, sir.
Give everybody who's watching tonight what your YouTube channel is working on, and then I want to get into why you're crazy and you should stop doing it.
I am crazy. No, Mondo Docs. It is
that fucking tree. We're gonna talk. That fucking tree scared the bejesus out of me. The two trees. But go ahead. Let's talk about. I'm very scared.
Yeah. Well, for those who don't know, Mondo Docs is a YouTube channel that concentrates on the paranormal, the strange, the unusual, and the abandoned. I go to a lot of haunted places, sometimes abandoned places. I also focus on somewhat traditional documentary format, short films. For example, I've interviewed or did a documentary on this guy who lives above a haunted orphanage in Gettysburg. Another documentary was about a
no. That's a no. That's a no.
Are you sure? It sounds like a fun time.
No, it doesn't sound. It sounds like the beginning. I'm gonna go visit a guy who lives above a haunted orphanage. Sounds like a movie. Every movie that Jerry and I have ever seen. It's like
it sounds like it came from Jerry's basement.
It came from Jerry's basement, which
I might even have that movie.
But okay, so this is a big YouTube channel. You got a lot of followers. You got a lot of people watching. Tell us some of the haunted places you've been. Where have you been that's particularly unnerving? Because if you hit upon a couple of them, I'm going to talk about the ones I watched and be like, holy shit.
Yeah, I've gone to a lot of Gettysburg locations, and I'm only 2 hours from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, so I go there quite often. I filmed a lot of videos there. But I've been to the Conjuring House, which is the real Conjuring House.
Right.
And in the movie, it's this big, huge farmhouse, but in reality, it's a small little cabin from the 1700s up in Rhode Island. And a lot of people have gone there, and you either hear it's crazy, it's so active, or that it's completely dead. When I was there, it was kind of quiet. Nothing really happened, except in the footage, I got an EVP of a young child asking, "Are you a ghost?" And we had the camera move by itself as well when we were in bed, the night vision camera. So that house is interesting. I don't think it's as nutty as people say it is. I think the owner's a little nuts, but that's about it.
The two things that I noticed in your documentary is you're not only dealing with these incredibly scary places, but you have reached out to these incredibly iconoclastic people that are, on the cusp of macabre and like making it a lifestyle. And like, so give me what led you to that kind of like the idea of doing that?
I mean, for me, I grew up watching horror movies. I always wanted to make horror movies ever since I was a little kid. I got really into documentary filmmaking back in high school and throughout college. And throughout my 20s and early 30s, I did dabble a little bit in documentary filmmaking, short documentaries. And then in 2019, I started doing paranormal stuff. And, the original idea for the channel was to really focus on just really not only strange places, but strange people, interesting people who have stories to tell. That may be a little taboo or a little off, maybe unsettling a little bit. And I think I'm finally getting back on track doing this types of documentaries, whether it's, owners of an oddity shop.
Yes, that was a great episode. They have a 16-foot long mama cobra.
Yeah.
And can we talk like they make blood pictures?
Yeah. The co-owner.
Blood art.
Yeah, the co-owner, she does blood paintings, which is painting with your own blood. Shouldn't get too much into detail about that, unfortunately.
It was fascinating. No, but it was because for like 5 minutes she talks about like you have to take the right blood and then you have to understand how it's the drying principles and all like that sounds way.
I feel like that by itself needs a whole documentary.
Yes. The idea of where it came from and people are still doing it.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating. He also, again, the 16-foot cobra mama.
Yeah. And he has cannibal teeth, like cannibal tribe teeth on display.
Honestly, not for sale.
Not for sale.
They were his prized possession in the dock.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
It's a crazy shot.
Mine's my best in Han Solo, but okay. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they are two of the nicest people I've ever met. I mean, they're great.
They seem so great, and also just like midway through the blood art thing, I was like, okay.
I mean, it's not for everyone, and I'm just happy they said yes to doing a documentary on them.
Fascinating. Let's talk about the house in New York. Let's talk about the outside of the house in New York.
The Hinsdale house. That's an old. Oh God. I know, to summarize it. So a family moved in the house back in the 70s. They experienced some extreme poltergeist activity. And I think some guy's brother killed himself with a shotgun on the property in the woods, I believe. There's some Native American spiritual activity that takes place in the backyard, in the woods, by that tree, for example. So,
there's a tree with a lion on it, Lawrence.
So it's an offering tree. So the idea is that when you go to the house, you're supposed to bring a gift, an offering to the tree.
So
to please.
What if you upset the Indian tribe burial ground thing? like if you give them liquor, they might enjoy that, but then also look at it like you're insulting them.
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, I forgot to bring a gift. I did not bring anything for the spirits. So that right there, I felt pretty.
You'll get nothing. You'd like it.
I don't know, but that house was interesting. That was another strange house.
Yeah, because in the video, you were in the house, and then you left the house for like a little while just to walk around the property, and then when you came back to the house, you're like, I don't like any of the vibes I'm getting.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. It was quite like every now and then I heard footsteps above me. No big deal. But
it's a big deal.
It got to a certain point where I went outside with my phone, recorded something, came back inside, watched the footage on my phone, and heard a weird voice, like someone saying, "Get inside." And that was strange. And then all of a sudden I heard the porch door open and close by itself. And that was weird. And after that, things felt different. I heard more footsteps above me upstairs on the second floor. And I felt like someone kind of came in the house with me because I was there all by myself. I was the only one. And this house is in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around it. So when you're there, you're there. Yeah. It's like a horror movie.
Start, Lawrence.
Yeah. But
it's fascinating. There's a tree that has like a lion's head on it. It looked like a lion's head, but it could have been maybe a bear.
Oh, that tree. Yeah, that was just like a random tree with an ornament. That was nothing. I don't think that was anything.
Oh, no. You think it was not? I was like watching that tree going, that tree's going to bleed out of its eyes. Like, that's not a good tree. Okay, so Missy has a question. What do JW and Lawrence have in common? Did you run a movie theater, Lawrence?
I was a programmer for a cinema back many years ago. That's how I met Missy and Kyle through the Rocky Horror.
So is that what you were thinking of, Missy? That would be my guess. What Lawrence and I have in common. I don't know. We're gonna.
Yeah.
I've been to movie theaters.
Since you didn't bring anything as an offering this time, you keep just a random trunk of items now in the trunk of your car, so you always have an offering with you just in case going forward.
Just a giant ass bag of tobacco. Yeah, just
beer.
Do a little sprinkling on the soil. Yeah.
Yeah, big bag of smokes and cat to.
Well, I hope you guys like Yingling.
I was like, all right, don't forget to bring an offering. 5 hours later, I get there. I'm like, fuck, I forgot the offering. But it's
that sounds like that sounds like the beginning of a horror film, and it also sounds like the end of a horror film because it's like you forgot the offering, and then how do they drop it? It starts to smell. You didn't get like you were talking about doing that as a full-time doc. You didn't get into that, right?
Yeah, if she did mention that, I kind of forget the exact details on that. But there we go. Raven just kind
of what is using different gel mediums, alcohol, and water, and weird things to know. So what is the scariest? Like you went to one place in New Jersey, like an abandoned old folks home that looked like other people were living there, but also looked like so many deaths occurred in that place. So many unnecessary bad deaths occurred in that place.
Yeah.
Is that the scariest place you've been, or what's the scariest place you've been?
So that was the Pines Inn in Jersey. It's an old retirement home that shut down back in. I'm Your Idol. I'm a terrible idol.
At least Missy would bring the smokes. She'd have the offerings for you. It's going back in the day. It was definitely my thing in Knockout. So I live in drive by what he puts on the net right now. He's again the show Mondo Docs and all the stuff on the YouTube channel are very good. It's very well shot. Again, you have a cinema verite background, right? You have an idea of a background where you're trying to do a documentary style, which again, if you're watching like movies, your style looks Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch-ish, right? Where it could fall into that category, but it is one of those things where they're so well shot, and it's also like, you have all the tech toys, and I think it's a really great little model. Here's a question just for me on my head. What's your favorite programming for as a film programmer? What was the best night you put together as a programmer?
I used to. My main thing was booking the late night horror movies. I mean, we booked Faces of Death, Sallow, Cannibal Holocaust. I think booking Cannibal Holocaust might have been. Actually, no. I think booking a film called Necromantic, which is a German film from 1987 about necrophilia. That poster right in front of me, but that I booked that for Valentine's Day, and that was actually pretty packed, and it was mostly there's a lot of single women in that crowd, oddly enough, but like it was a good crowd. It was a surprising crowd for Necromantic. So that's what really,
funny story about that. My mother watched that movie and she said I laughed through the whole thing. I thought it was hilarious.
It's a campy film. It's over the top. I mean, it's.
We used to do things at Endless Mountains, and we had like Bill Lustig out for Maniac Cop, and we used to do things with somebody that worked for Trauma. Actually worked for Trauma Pictures, and so it's when you're booking or kind of trying to come up with the different things, the programming things. Hey, this might work. Were you under pressure, like monetary business pressure of like these things have to work or the theater shuts down?
I mean, there was never a threat of the theater shutting down. It was part of a bigger organization. But I had, a higher up to please, financially. Yeah, and the films did fine. I mean, we've had numerous sold out screenings, especially like, The Thing. And it's all about being smart. And when you're booking certain films, like The Shining, obviously book it in the winter. The Thing, do it in the winter.
They're doing in your neck of the woods. They're doing at a PA drive-in. They're doing The Thing and The Shining on the same night during the winter at a drive-in.
I feel like that's like Shankweiler's. They would do something like that.
Yeah, Shankweiler's.
Yeah.
And I was reading about that, going, that would be a good night. It'd be a long night and a scary night in the cold. But it'd be a good night because you'd be with like-minded people who enjoy really dense horror films.
And we have the Mahoning Drive-In Theater here in PA as well, which Kyle, I think you've been to the Mahoning Drive-In. All 35 millimeter, mostly horror screenings during the summer and the fall. Great drive-in. I think it's one of the only drive-in theaters in the country that really presents or projects their films on 35 millimeter. Yeah.
We're also good friends with the Circle Drive-In as well.
Nice.
Lawrence, where can people find your stuff? Where can people find you? Can they follow you on all these different social media things?
Yeah. Go to Mondo Docs on YouTube. Go subscribe. I'm also on TikTok. I have a few documentaries coming up in the next few months, including a documentary on a horror museum. The guy has all authentic horror movie props. That's going to be happening. But if you enjoy documentaries about death, the paranormal, and just a weird guy going to abandoned places and exploring them by himself, go check out Mondo Docs. Go subscribe. And
I worry for your safety, Lawrence Milano, but I'm happy to watch your stuff because I'm so nervous that something's going to happen to you. So because I like horror films, and you're living the horror fan's dream, right? You're going all these places, you're meeting cool people. Who also
I saw his post today though. He's planning
with blood,
big 2025.
Yeah, I got some
really good spot.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to New Orleans in the springtime, in March or April. Hoping to go down to West Virginia again in the summertime. And
we would love to have you back on again to promote your next set of docs. Or do they come out weekly, or is it
no, it's an inconsistent schedule, unfortunately. I work a Monday to Friday job, so my scheduling with filming is a little inconsistent, unfortunately. But
originally telling you, our network knows a lot of folks, the Warren Legacy Foundation for Paranormal Research, including the Warrens' his grandson.
Yeah,
I told you.
Yeah, well, really quick.
I was already name dropping Joe. I was already name dropping Joe. We don't. The Grand Poobah has arrived.
That's our overlord that we have to answer to.
That's our Grand Poobah.
Gotcha.
That's my person that we answer to. But
I'll be nice to the Warrens then.
Oh yeah, the 2025 sounds fantastic. I'm looking forward to more stuff, and let's have you on again. Let's talk about your next big doc.
If you want to talk horror, don't forget these are all Italian horror movies and foreign horror movies.
I love those too.
So I noticed your poster behind you, Jerry.
Yes.
So if you want to discuss horror movies sometime, let me know. I'll come back on. We'll
be happy to do that. And like I said, thank you so much for coming tonight.
Cool. Yeah, thank
you.
you.
We appreciate you. It's a busy show. We got a lot of people coming in and out. But we wanted to have you on. What?
What's the Italian Lawrence wanted to talk to you about, though?
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, the Twilight Zone. And okay, real quick.
Yeah,
2 seconds. Okay.
So Lawrence, if you're free, you can just stick around. You want to just stick around?
Sure, why not?
Okay, yeah. What else are you gonna? Why? What are you doing? We're gonna leave
Twilight Zone. I took the cue. You said Twilight Zone.
Just so we're clear, when Kyle disappears, we talk about the Twilight Zone. It's amazing. But the reason I want to, I hate Kyle so much. Can't get rid of them.
General consensus.
Kyle
Defina.
Well, actually, JW, I am going to head off though. Before I do though, the Warrens and Annabelle. Okay, the Annabelle doll. Don't forget, Annabelle was the name of the mother of the girl. The mom is named Annabelle. She got her daughter the talking Tina doll, right? Which is a doll that talks. Annabelle is a possessed haunted doll that the Warrens investigated. So connect those dots right there. Is Annabelle a hoax or is it authentic? So that's all I have to really say on that one. But I do have to go though. I can't stay around too long. But
okay, well then go. We'll let you go. We'll have you come back.
Yes.
At a different time. But it was a pleasure meeting you. And again, apparently, because Kyle said I knew him already. Fuck me. But thank you for joining us. We appreciate you coming on. We'll be happy to have you on to talk horror films. Maybe we can have you on in the new year. Talk Nosferatu. Everybody's a little bit jazzed.
Christmas Day.
So thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time. Everybody check out Mondo Docs on YouTube. Super cool documentary exploitation YouTube channel. And it was great having you, Lawrence.
Cool.
Come back.
Thank you.
See you again. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you and yours.
Merry Christmas.
Take
care.
Easy.
Merry Christmas.
It was fascinating. But the show's moving so fast now. This person, we have another guest. This person is got a show premiering on the Indie Escape Network in January. He also sounds like Candyman. I'm super jealous. I'm super jelly. But I want to introduce him to our crowd and everybody. Well, please welcome film aficionado and another person wearing a hat, Troy Hill, ladies and gentlemen. Troy Hill, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing this evening?
These fucking voices makes me feel like a bitch. It's amazing. But I do have a cool shirt on. See, I have a cool shirt.
Very cool. Somebody's getting ready, I see.
He's like, how you guys doing? Like, oh, we're doing pretty good.
How you doing? It's like a fucking outfit.
Hey, Ken, how's it going?
We represent the lollipop too. Lollipop too.
Oh, it was great. So was wicked.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Troy,
Yes.
You're joining the network. We're super excited to have you and Robert Bass join in the network because we're whiter than white can be, and it's good to have people with other varied interests and styles, and also a person that sounds as amazing as your voice sounds. So, what's the show going to be about? What are we going to do on your show, Troy? I know about you, but I don't know that everybody else knows about you.
Well, it's usually going to be 3 segments. It's going to deal with the movie review. It could be a new movie. Could be an older movie. It just kind of really depends on what's going on at that time. It's going to cover entertainment news, like the most recent and up-to-date entertainment news of the week. And we're also going to talk about nostalgia things, like, for example, what's one of the businesses that went out of business growing up as a kid that you wish could go back into business, that things that like kind of touch your childhood and things like because living through life in general, being adults, grown as adults is just kind of just lame when you just think about it. So we all
hard.
So in all this adulting,
I miss software, etc.
So, like, in all this adulting, we kind of just sit there and think about, a lot of times we daydream about some of the cool stuff we used to do as kids and stuff, and it kind of, like, eases our minds a little bit. So, let's go talk about those things, too.
I feel like that meme that always goes around with the wife lying in bed next to her husband is like, he's probably thinking about other girls. And it's like,
nope.
Was Ripley's spaceship really in Alien Romulus? You know what I mean? Like,
I'm thinking about playing my Commodore 64. Are you kidding me?
Like, when does the Superman trailer drop? It drops Thursday at 9.
Yes.
Is this not one of the most glorious posters you've ever seen, Troy?
Yes, to me, it's very reminiscent, kind of, to the original one with Christopher Reeves. Was it's like When We Believe a Man Could Fly. It's reminiscent of that, and also some of the Star Trek type of old, like, to the coloring and stuff too, like Raffikanish.
Completely different iconography versus Zack Snyder stuff.
Yeah,
right. It's light, it's effervescent, it's amazing. The look up thing is so basic and so simple. I was talking about it last night. I think it's not only look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman, right? It's also look up because, like, you everybody kind of has their chin down these days, right? Everybody's a little bit down, but look up. Got something to look forward to in July. Got something.
When you look up, your double chin goes away too. Like,
he's right.
You gotta keep looking up for that.
Chubby people, yes,
100% correct.
It's normal.
But I think this trailer is the most important trailer, like, in a while. I mean, I really, really do, especially for DC's sake. I mean, this is
well, DC's been treading water for far too long. I think the trailer I most equated to is probably, like, for me, it's Phantom Menace, right? It's the Phantom Menace. When that Phantom Menace trailer hit, people were buying tickets to, like, different things, like Meet Joe Black, just to get to see the trailer.
Yeah,
right?
It's just not going to take us 24 hours to download the shit. So that's definitely.
AOL going out on our house.
Yeah, don't want to show my age. We stepped away from the computer several times before Phantom Menace. We could actually see the trailer back in the day. So
we had Robert on. We asked him his favorite movie. It's Forrest Gump, which I know he loves it, and I'm okay with it. But it's one of those movies for me I don't even know it's the best movie the year it came out. Like, because I think Pulp Fiction and Shawshank are better, but I understand where the love for Forrest Gump is. What are some of your favorite movies? What can people look forward to? What are you into? You have Bob's Big Boy on your wall.
Yes, I do, because he's never left. He's always maintained competitive prices for low cost. So.
Also, he's a fat icon, Troy. So you're in good graces with me. Grimace, Ralph Cramden, Bob's Big Boy.
Yes.
Fat icon, Fred Flintstone. Again, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, no worries.
Out.
For movies, my number one is probably Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Shawshank Redemption is definitely in there. Kill Bill's actually there. I mean, some more current movies. Kill Bill's probably there more so than what Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs could be. Django Unchained.
Volume 1 better.
What's that?
Which volume do you like better, or do you feel it's a complete movie?
I look at it as a complete thing. That's the only way to look at it, because if you look at part 2 by itself, it kind of seems it's disappointing looking at part 2 by itself. So you kind of need volume 1. You got to need them both together. Yes.
I think you could also do that with Inside Out and Inside Out 2. I think if at some point somebody's going to put them together, and you're going to have the greatest nostalgia movie about childhood adolescence.
No, that's very true.
You know what I mean?
You could also do a Halloween 1 and 2, because, I mean, to me, I look at that as a complete movie also.
Yeah, because it's one night, even though Charles Cypher's hair changes.
Porky's
one night, kids.
Porky's 2 was the next day.
The next day.
Yeah.
We need to make cinematic universes. So Kill Bill, Psycho. I think Psycho's great. I was telling you, you were on Robert's show, and I was commenting to you about Psycho. Psycho, to me, has the single greatest movie trailer in the history of film. The trailer with Hitchcock just walking around the fucking set and just, like, going past the shower and going, ooh, something terrible happens there.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, you're just like, what the fuck? And then he, like, gets to the top of the stairs and he's like, terrible shame about the accident here.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, he's talking about Martin Balsam.
Yeah, and I can't think of another time with that level of marketing. I mean, can we all agree that that's probably like the best level? I mean, when marketing really turned into marketing for movies, they had to take it to a whole different level back then.
It's when you had the directors that were visionary directors that were so far ahead of everyone else that their work was separate from everything else. And so he was, when he started inserting himself in the movies, thank you, Raven. I appreciate you so much. When he started inserting himself into the show and the movies, and it became like when can we notice him, or when is he going to be there? I think he's probably in my top 5, like just as a director, like the sheer volume of work where he's working with all these different people. We went to see Rear Window when it had its recent screenings, and there is nothing as lovingly pictured on a big movie screen than Grace Kelly in Edith Head outfits, photographed by a man obsessed with blondes that Hitchcock was. Right? There's not, like, you look at Grace Kelly on a screen and you're like, why is Jimmy Stewart looking out the fucking window? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? I know the guy's killing people across the way, but Grace Kelly is sitting on your couch. But yeah, I mean,
that's part of it all of Alfred Hitchcock. I mean, because to me, that's a level of tension right there. When you got someone that looks like her and you're paying attention, I mean, Alfred Hitchcock encompassed all levels of tension, all different aspects of it.
Yeah, I mean, you got that. You got North by Northwest. He put some of the most gifted and charming people in the worst possible positions, like Cary Grant in that, Cary Grant in To Catch a Thief. You know what I mean? Like, where you're watching all these movies and you're like, oh my god, the level of, like, it's so fucking high. I'm a Spielberg guy, though. I grew up on Spielberg.
Oh, of course, yeah, we all did, yeah.
So we did Gremlins last night on Generation Movie, and it was like, the sheer volume of things that's in Gremlins that is reminiscent of other movies. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is playing. It's a Wonderful Life is playing. The actual George Powell Time Machine is in the background when the father makes the phone call. Robbie the Robot, the actual Robbie the Robot, gives the actual lines he gave in Forbidden Planet. So, like, that level of, like, craftsmanship, I think we have good directors now. I don't know that we have maybe one or two that are, like, that set themselves apart auteur-wise, where you're like, go see that movie.
I think that we haven't really had someone that's stuck the landing in quite a long time. I don't know if it's because of script writing or just their direction in general, but it seems like a lot of the movies that are coming out now, they don't seem complete in a sense.
I'm going to introduce this theory to you. I don't know that they're incomplete. I think they're too complete. I think there's no editing, right?
It could be possible.
You know what I mean? I think it's like these movies are 2.5 hours, 3 hours long. Recently saw Man in the White Van. It was very similar to Rear Window, just going back to 80s, 90s, even 70s stories in the feel. I have not seen Man in the White Van yet. It's not at my AMC down here in Florida. She has JW. She's JW. Definitely resonating with the feel. Yeah, I think part of the interesting thing about being a movie fan and being nerdy and being okay with being nerdy in 2024. Going into 2025 is being able to go find other people with similar interests. And I'm looking at your wall going, yeah, you're fine. Captain America, Darth Vader.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I'm fascinated with your wall. I have a ton of shit on my wall.
Yeah, I mean, I got Michael Jackson, Prince, Rocky, Drago, Clubber Lang,
Drago,
Black Manta.
If he dies,
yeah.
If he dies,
Clubber Lang T-shirt. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So what have you seen recently that you love? Anything you love recently?
The last two, not really in theaters. I mean, I had an opportunity to see Mufasa last night, and I kind of just bypassed it. And I had an opportunity to see Sonic 3 earlier today, and it was just too early for me to go see it. And I'm gonna still
I have a
sleep
nephew
like I'm
who
gonna
would have
still
killed
sleep
you
like
for those
this.
tickets.
I will still sleep like this tonight because I don't have interest really in either one. I mean, what I did see Carry On, and I did see Subservience on Netflix. And
they're both burning up the charts pretty well. You know what else is?
I can see why one is. I don't understand why the other one is.
Subservience is. Which one do you like better? You like?
Carry On. I think Carry On is the best movie
It's
Netflix has ever done made.
Bateman's got the Ozark thing going on.
Yeah,
and he's in the right frame of mind to be a villain, right? At this point,
yes. And then when it's a part of the movie where it picks up. You know where the accident when that part happens, it's a roller coaster ride. After that, I had a blast watching that movie.
Is it a Christmas movie, Troy?
Well, Die Hard's a Christmas movie, so you tell me.
Yes, Troy. I knew we could be friends. Family Returns, Gremlins, Lethal Weapon, all Christmas movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Subservience.
Everyone.
But Subservience, that was
not good.
No.
I watched Carry On. Also, Carry On knocked me out of Whamageddon. I don't know if you know about Whamageddon.
No.
But every year we run a giant group, an offshoot of Loud Nerdy. It's Whamageddon, and basically you have to go from December 1st to December 24th at midnight without hearing Wham play their song Last Christmas.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So Missy writes a book. I can agree and disagree with the trip because I do have interest in Mufasa only because I want to see how they do it because they screwed it up. I didn't mean to hit that, sorry. I wanted something to complain about, honestly. There's a few things I'll do. I have an issue with it, but I don't want to see it before I complain. Sonic. I was Sonic all the way. I lived and died that video game. I don't know if we need the movie. I also felt the way about Moana 2 that we didn't need that. I don't agree with this. We need Sonic 3. I'm going to tell you from my perspective.
See, I'm this guy.
You're a Mario guy. I understand.
Don't say I never played. I'm not going to say I never played Sega. I had a Sega system too. I did Sonic and all that. But to me, that guy's the king. Sonic is just he exists.
Oh, that's rough. What I think the interesting thing is, like, from a movie perspective, and it's starting to come out in the tracking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Disney does not realize how big Sonic 3 is going to be. Now,
it's going to be huge.
It's going to be much bigger than Mufasa is. Like, I think you could see like a 75-50 domestic over the weekend for Sonic. Don't get me wrong, Mufasa is going to do greater all over the world. It's going to have, like, the number Disney is going to be talking about is like 180 million worldwide. Mm-hmm. But domestic, like, my nephews want to go see Mufasa, but the Blue Hedgehog takes precedent, and we have 24 people going to the movies on Thursday night.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, if I was a betting man, I would definitely think that Sonic 3 will make more money opening weekend than what Mufasa will. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, but
Missy, I wasn't trying to cut off your comment. I understand what you're saying. I'm just, I was just trying to get through it. It was very lengthy. And I understand. I know. I know you didn't want Moana, and then
she liked Moana too. Didn't think she was gonna like it going in. I think that was the way the first two Sonic movies.
Well, the first two Sonic movies, I think, are actually pretty decent when it comes to that. Like, if you talk about video game adaptations, I think you have to go the Mario Brothers movie, right?
Yeah, I love Mario Brothers.
That movie is great.
Mm-hmm.
But Sonic is
the newest one.
Street Fighter.
Yeah, Ken, I know it's estimated 55 million, but I think Street Fighter's so bad. Although
that's what makes
the
it
sad
so
part
good.
about Street Fighter is that it's Raul Julia's last movie, so it's
true.
You got to kind of watch it every once in a while because he's so absolutely ridiculous as Bison.
Mm-hmm.
I know what the estimates are, Ken, but I think there's a small. I think the estimates are going to be wrong on Sonic. I think it's going to be higher than 55. I think it's going to beat Mufasa by a significant number. The Sonic movies are really fun. Yeah, I don't think there's, and I'm going based on my nephews, and my nephews we have Sonic shirts, Sonic shoes.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
we're gonna have Sonic cups.
And let me just say too, I mean, it's not that I don't think Mufasa or Sonic 3 will be any good. It's just I have zero interest in seeing it. You know, I mean, if it's on TV, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna.
Mufasa gets back to that great Patton Oswalt thing, like that great Patton Oswalt thing of like, oh, we're gonna make movies about your childhood villains, okay? But I don't know that I don't know that I want my villains to be good. Well, no, but you're gonna get the villain part at some point.
Yeah, but you look at it differently.
Yeah, you're going to look at it differently.
You look at Darth Vader differently now, and you look at Megatron differently now too. You know, because
Megatron definitely. Transformers 1 was one of the. Kyle is going to take me to task because I was not a big Transformers 1 person, and then I saw it. I came out of it going.
It was a good damn movie.
It's a great movie.
The only problem.
Maybe the best Transformers movie we have, actually, to be honest.
Well, it's not better than the original animated. I won't go that far, but it's
not better than '86. No. I mean,
yeah,
better than the stuff that Michael Bay has released recently.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. But the only hiccup with that movie was that Megatron turned from this to like evil as shit, like in a matter of like it just
3 minutes.
Like the turn.
3 minutes at the end. It was super like I'm going to kill my friend, and I'm also going to kill all these other people. Yes. And, and then I'm going to brand everybody.
Yeah,
okay, do you guys think that Sonic and Mustafa will go along gender lines with boys going to see Sonic and girls going to see the Disney Mustafa movie?
No, because I think Sonic. I think Sonic is across that age range. I think the girls like Sonic, and also I think we're going to get the first Sonic girl character. That's massive. Is that Mellow Yellow? You're on fire.
No, it's Harito's grapefruit flavor.
Okay. 50-50. Yellow?
Crystal 50-50.
Just give me a movie where a villain is a fucking villain. Well, no, I want layers because I think the best villains have layers. I think Thanos is.
Ogres have layers like onions.
Onions have layers. Parfaits have layers. But also. But I want a good Alan Rickman person. Somebody's like, I'm moving up to kidnapping, so you should be very nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not just an exceptional bank robber, but I'm moving up to kidnapping. So,
but those type of villains are a dime a dozen. Just look at the names.
Well, we don't
get how far they spread. I mean, how spread those are apart.
Yes, I am, Raven.
Well, and I think that's a thing that we've gotten lost in, right? Like. We're talking about this movie, right? Mm-hmm. And the idea that Sony,
I think JW just likes the guy's abs. That's why he keeps showing that.
I do. I think he'd be a fantastic Bond. He wants to be Bond. Yes, let's go. Let's get the Bond thing going, so we can get going. I think the interesting thing, the story today that came out was like Sony might be willing to sell it to Marvel. Because we're so scared about putting Spider-Man in a movie with any of these not crappy low-level villains, but crappily written low-level villains,
Well, the question I would ask is how many great Spider-Man movies did Sony actually make? Because it's really not. I mean, two. So one and two, right? With two being the best.
Two being the best.
With two because they follow.
I might have to show up on your show every once in a while here. We're becoming buddies, Troy. Yeah, Doc Ock is top of the fucking list. People.
Well, the secret why 2 is great is because they basically followed the guidelines.
Here, you want to go over this way?
I'm just here.
No, we're here together. Shut up, Kyle. You won't ruin my friendship with Troy. Anyway,
but Superman 2 and Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man 2. They basically follow the principles of Superman 2. That's what makes it successful. If they didn't follow
not only
it,
are we going to have the original villain that was great, but we're going to give you a second villain that's also pretty, or in the case of Superman 2, 3 exceptional villains that we're going to have a fight in New York and everything's going to be great. Spider-Verse movies are great. They're Sony, yes, but they're also a different animal because the people handling the animation department at Sony is pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the Sony animated movies are pretty good. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, a couple of those things.
Yes.
They're okay. their live action is where Sony's having problems.
Yeah, well, perfect example too is that they're not rushing their product. I mean, they know they're not going to be ready in 2025, so they already made an announcement where it's not going to happen.
2026. We just got the directors today.
Yeah,
sorry, it's not coming. It's not coming till next year from now.
Yeah,
just relax. Everybody relax. It'll be here. But yeah, I think it's interesting. What shows are you watching? What do you got pumping into the television? Are you also
Creature Commandos right now? I love it, and getting ready to tap into. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna start watching the Dexter Original Sin, because I mean it's Dexter, and
it is Dexter, and he's doing a voiceover.
Well, I want to see. Well, I'm watching through this just to get the Resurrection, and then see what they do at Resurrection, because this will be a third strike for them messing up the Dexter closure, right? So he's batter up third time on the mount, or third time at the batter, getting ready to swing the bat.
I think the show jumped the shark when they had one of the greatest serial killer characters, the Lithgow
Trinity Killer.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was so good. And then, like, after that, they were like, we don't know what the fuck to do. Like, we have no idea what to do anymore.
I was going to make a joke last week as I was watching you guys show. You were talking about Superman or Santa Claus, the movie. I was going to say that I was going to comment that then John Lithgow, eventually he became the Trinity Killer.
Well, we watched it. Natasha is a very valuable contributor to the network and to our show Generation Movie, and she loves that movie. And I'm like, I remember seeing that movie and hating that movie, and then seeing it again and still hating that movie. So, although I will say the first half hour, what she was talking about, she's like, the first half hour is magical. I'm like, yes, and then it goes on past the first half hour. An hour and 45 minutes later, you realize that the first half hour is okay. Except for the fact that Santa dies, he freezes to death with his wife and his 2 reindeer in the snow. And then you start going, what the fuck just happened? And then, Dudley Moore shows up and he looks bombed out of his mind the entire movie. He's
because he was bombed out of his mind.
Because he was bombed out of his mind.
I enjoyed it because March 25th was the birthday, or that's when they were going to have Christmas too, and that's my birthday, so I was like all for the shit. Like,
you know what? I read that and I was like, that's the best line of the night. That's a good line, because everybody wants to have a party on their birthday. Original Sin's go back.
Oh, what's up, JT?
Jason Taylor, thank you for joining us. You look new. We like new. New and shiny. Problem is we've seen it before. The reboot season a few years ago was good. After Lithgow, the showrunner, left. That's why I dropped. When he came back with the reboot from a few years ago and doing these new shows, I think it's one of those things that's like, I want it to be good because we love the first show, right? But it's also, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, it's my fault for going back, right? Well, Trees to Michael C. Hall was seen in Dexter flashback. Laugh out loud. Okay. So let's talk. When are you starting this show on our network?
It will be January 9th, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it'll be me and my co-host Sir Sturdy. Which, if you guys want to check him out, House of Sir Sturdy at YouTube. He's anything obscure, like all the way across the spectrum of horror. He's your guy. He watches everything. I mean, like literally, if there's murder and mayhem and all that, yeah, he's watching it. Me, not all the time.
Sir Sturdy is your co-host. So you're starting June 9th. That is great because we're coming back June 14th. So then we'll be working hand in fist and working together to build this network. We're super excited to have you. And I thank you for coming on tonight and joining us and reveling with us as we finish up our podcasting year. Any other thing? Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me at Troy Hill Talks on YouTube. Just go ahead and search that. I got all my movie reviews and it's movie reviews and short little memes and stuff. Not always movie related, but just funny stuff.
Yeah, you try to have a big tent and not make anybody angry, right? I'm just here to talk about fun stuff.
Well,
I want nothing to do with bad stuff.
Well, in this world, someone's unfortunately always going to be mad about something, and they're going to misinterpret everything. And some things you're going to say. So at the end of the day, they can kind of you know,
just be happy, right?
Yeah, just be happy.
So
But
looking forward to the show.
And I can also be found on TikTok, Troy Hill Talks Movies, and I do DJ sets on there Friday and Saturday nights from 10 p.m. Central Standard Time to whenever I feel like. But I play just about a little bit of anything, and you guys control what I play. So if I'm playing like Prince or something like that, or like I don't know, is there anything from like the 80s? I could be playing Al Greg, playing like current today hip hop or whatever the case may be. But if everybody wants to hear like 90s grunge rock or something like that, I'm going to switch to that because I have affinity for all types of music. So it kind of really depends.
I'm not gonna lie, a nice Pearl Jam set right around my birthday, January 1st. I am super excited. By the way, everybody loves The Voice. When did The Voice happen? Did it happen quickly in high school? Did it just one day you walked in and you sounded like Troy Hill?
From birth.
From birth. I could see it. Like,
I was like,
don't slap me on the ass, Doc.
It did happen. It did happen at an early age, though. I'll probably say like 5th or 6th grade.
I could see you walking around like, I just want some milk with my lunch, and like all the ones like bowing down to hand you milk. Thank you so much for coming on. And
anytime.
Never take requests from Ridgely, okay, Troy? Never take requests from Ridgely.
Hairband.
No.
I thought he was saying something about like Troy and I wearing
Cinderella
hats.
going, right, Joe?
Oh, and he's like hairband. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, we could do some yacht rock, maybe. So.
Oh, yacht rock.
Yeah.
I was just looking at that. There's a Toto's traveling with Toto, Men Down Under, or not Men Down Under.
Men at Work.
Men at Work.
Yeah.
And who's the third band? Christopher Cross.
Now, see, I just showed the listeners like my extended music knowledge. They're like, well, you know, Men at Work. Like,
yacht rock. There's a concert. Toto, Christopher Cross, and Men at Work.
I saw Toto. They were great
this summer. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, you can't find bad songs at that concert, right? I mean, you're eventually going to get Between the Moon and New York City. You're going to get Africa, right? You're getting like, you're going to get Come From the Land Down Under. You know, like there's nothing you could go wrong.
I want to hear mixed with Raven.
Raven. It's so bad. It's so bad.
You're gonna get mixed with Raven.
It's so bad. Anyway, thank you for joining us.
Oh, absolutely.
Forward to your show. I look forward to like working with you and coming up with some sort of like fun things we can do nostalgia movie wise, because I think you and I are very much in the same ballpark, same court, same fucking game. So I'm super excited about that. And you said all the right things tonight. I'm super excited. Super happy. Also, just so we're clear, I do want to finish one thing. You were on with Robert, and the thing is, Robert was on our show 2 weeks before you were on Robert's show.
Yes.
And Robert had a huge fight with me about Christopher Reeve's Superman. He's like, I just don't see it. I didn't understand it. I don't think he was a good Superman. I'm like, he was 6'4" and jacked.
Yeah, he was.
Well, the outfit didn't give him any justice. I'm like, no, it didn't. But if you watch the Superman documentary, which is a fantastic documentary, everybody should watch it. It's on Max now. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story.
Yeah.
Amazing. You'll see how jacked he was, right? And so what happened after that, he's like, so you're excited about this new one then? I'm like, yes, I already have a shirt. I'm already ready to go. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because I think Gunn gets it. I think Gunn gets it on a like a cellular level, right? And he's like, I don't know, I just don't see it. And he looked at the Corn Sweat picture and he's like, ah. And I was like, so when you brought it up on his show, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yes, correct.
Well,
and then coming on the network, I was like, this is amazing. Like, Robert, you're wrong.
Well, I mean, I like Henry Cavill or whatever his name is. I mean, I like him, but Christopher Reeves is the Superman. I mean, it is what he is.
Somebody, you know, I feel bad for Cavill. I told him, this is what I told him. He's like, Cavill's amazing. I'm like, yeah, but Cavill, I feel bad for Cavill. Cavill had a bad string of movies.
Yeah, but it's more than just being this, though. It's more than just being this and being this. You got to have the charisma. You got to have the believability. You got to have that level of charm, and that's what
you also have to be able to shift between Clark Kent and Superman, which is a key in what movie? Kill Bill, buddy. you right. That is one of the greatest sequences in Kill Bill.
Yes.
And he's talking about I love Superman because Superman is showing us what he thinks we are.
Yes.
And that's a perfect button on our interview tonight. Thank you for coming tonight.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Troy Hill Talks starts in January 9th on the Indie Escape Network. You cannot beat this guy, and you can't beat the voice, and he also does DJing. Thank you for coming, Troy. We appreciate it.
Anytime. I'll see you guys again real soon. You guys take care.
See you in January, buddy. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all the stuff you celebrate. We appreciate you and look forward to working with you, buddy.
All right, likewise. I'll see you guys soon.
Take care.
All right, take care.
He is fantastic.
Right on.
Because I was smoking and it came from Renault and he sounds like he's yelling my name. It's creepy, weird, and funny. Raven! They can't do it like me. Mark this day. Missy agrees with JW. Yeah, that's true. I 100% that Superman is Christopher Reeve, but we're gonna see. That was a good interview. We had 2 good interviews tonight. I'm super excited. Thank you for getting our first guest, and thanks to Joe and Troy for coming to see us and wanting to get on and promote his show. Troy, you're still here? Do you want to stay and do Twilight Zone with us?
I would love to, but I got some other stuff I got to take care of before I, go.
Man, you say Twilight Zone, it makes people disappear.
It makes people cringe.
No, actually, Twilight Zone is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So no, I love Twilight Zone.
You already got the show. You don't gotta kiss this guy's butt.
Well, no.
So one of the things we're doing on this show, Troy.
Yeah, but Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock presents all that stuff. Yeah, that was.
Well, no, what we're doing on this show is we do Twilight Zone Redux. So we've watched every episode of the Twilight Zone's first season. We're on episode 3 of season 2. We've just started doing it. So we watch an episode, go over the episode, say what it touches upon, what it like, because I feel Twilight Zone writing wise is in everything we watch. Like I feel when you go and you watch a show, like tonight's episode is called Nervous Man in a $4 Room, right? And it's about a guy who's having fights with himself in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And the movie we're going to talk about in a second, but the movie that I think it deeply inspires is Fight Club. It's literally, the split personality. One's a coward, one's not. Mm-hmm. One's like, we just need to get our life. We need to get better. Like we need to do better, and let me out, and I can do it. But go do your other things. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
All right. You guys take care.
Bye. Again, he's great, and he
logged off. He's like, crap. He's going to bring me back on if I don't get out of here.
Yeah, he's gone. Again, when you meet good fun people like us and everybody comes on the network, you just want to hang out with them, right? You want to hang out with Robert. You want to hang out with Troy. You want to hang out with Joe when he comes on his show, when he does appearances. You want to hang out with you. You want to hang out with Jerry, right? It's a magical thing, right? And I just think. I think we're growing and it's good and I'm happy and it's a good thing. And it's good to want to be part of something bigger, right? I mean, it's always good to be part of something bigger. Like-minded people making fun. All right, I understand Twilight Zone respect, but I have to say it's Christmas. I haven't mentioned the Crypt Keeper's Christmas. You're talking about the Larry Drake episode, right? You're talking about the episode where Benny... can we have Jerry pull the Crypt Keeper Christmas out of his basement? That would make me so happy. Missy's now talking about herself in the third person, Kyle. You need to work on this. Missy would be happy if Missy gets what she wants.
Hold on. I'm going to go. I'm just going to lock myself in this room for the night.
Okay, so Jerry is not bringing the Crypt Keeper Christmas out of the vault tonight, out of the basement. Jerry, what are you bringing out of your basement tonight?
Tonight is a movie called Abducted.
Hey, hold on, before we put it up. Hold on, I gotta get our branding. We'll do the branding first. Give me a second.
There it is.
Then I can get the pictures I have. Hold on. They made it a Crypt Keeper Christmas. Yeah, there's a Tales from the Crypt that is the very first episode of Tales from the Crypt is a Christmas
What
episode.
was the Tales from the Crypt Christmas story about? Jesus.
Well, it's about it's about a homicidal maniac, of course, Kyle, that escapes
Killer
escapes
Santa Claus.
the mental asylum and goes on a killing spree. And basically, I think he goes after the doctor that put him into the mental facility, right? I think that's where he goes. Like he goes right, and there's a little girl in the episode, and she just keeps on wanting to let Santa in, and it doesn't go well. It's one of those crypt. It's one of the Tales from Crypt that ends rather poorly for anybody that's in it, and it's just dark and foreboding and scary. But it's good. I would agree with Missy. It's one of the better Tales from the Crypt. The other one, my other favorite Tales from the Crypt is.
I agree a second time tonight. Oh man.
Yeah.
Just got to click their heels together one more time, and I'm screwed.
Well, I mean, if you're lucky. But
And Jerry, is this particular movie, this Crypt Keeper movie, in your basement?
I don't have a hard copy.
You need
I
all of
have
the
digital copies of all the Tales of the Crypts, though.
you have digital. Do you really?
Yeah, I have them on my terabyte drive.
Oh my God, I would.
All of them.
They're not available anywhere.
Oh, they're not?
I would kill to get some of those. I
can get them to you somehow, but
So
I do have it, but I don't have it in physical.
You know what one I really want to see again? Do you remember the episode? There's an episode of Tales from the Crypt about a guy who's a reporter, and he's kind of a scumbag reporter, and he basically starts investigating a funeral home where homeless people are disappearing, and then the name of the funeral home has it's like something GHOUL, and it's spelled out like in full words though, right? But it's ghoul, right? And the end of the episode, he gets into a coffin and it drops down, and he goes into the basement of, I guess the crypts, and he gets there, and all of the people who work at the funeral home are all ghouls, and they're all eating dead bodies, and then they kill him and eat him. Do you remember that episode? That's a great episode.
I do.
I'm legit hanging out Jersey for next year and watching all the Tales from the Crypt.
There you go.
I don't know, maybe. What's the movie for tonight? I'm sorry, Jerry. We've gotten off topic as we have.
This was Abducted from 1986. Dan
That
Haggerty
is a provocative cover. Is it a dirty movie? It's a TV movie, right?
This was a made-for-TV movie back in the day.
Abducted, enslaved.
A father and son who are basically, they live in the mountains. This woman is a jogger, and this guy kidnaps her, and it comes to a head at the end. So the whole movie is about him abducting her, keeping her against her will. And Dan Haggerty has to make a choice between his son and this girl.
Sounds like a terrible choice. So Dan Haggerty, you're talking about Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams himself.
So the true story of this movie is loosely based on a kidnapping case in the United States that the writer-director Boone Collins, that read an article about, in which a female biathlon runner was abducted by a father and son. He has Dan Haggerty, basically known as Grizzly Adams. Roberta Weiss is Renee, and the son's name is Vern. Perfect. And it was a 1-week theatrical release in Canada in 1986, and then it got released in the United States and United Kingdom on video cassette. So,
Land Canada.
One of the things that's interesting is that most of the reviews don't like the movie on a whole, but it is some of the most gorgeous wilderness landscape you could see. And again, Grizzly Adams cast against type is what I would say is an amazing feature of this movie. So Abducted, where can people find it? On Tubi?
I found this on YouTube.
YouTube in its entirety. Look at that guy. He looks scraggly.
Oh,
yeah, I think you guys playing the audience differently, like The Man in the White Van. That's definitely current playing movie like Jerry's currently talking. Yeah, I've heard about The Man in the White Van. It's just not playing down here yet. We've gotten other things that you guys haven't gotten though too. So Grizzly Adams is the guy with the beard, or the dog, or the dolphin. They started to blend. JW location takes place in Florida. Of course it does. That's what I want to hear. The guys in the Wave vans are all in Florida, motherfuckers. So, Jesus, that scares me. Okay, Kyle, are you gonna stick around for Twilight Zone? It's the last Twilight Zone of 2020. Twilight Zone Redux. We've crossed over into the Twilight Zone. Tonight's episode, my friend, is a fantastic title. Honey, honey, that's what I'm saying. It's not playing yet. It's not going to, because it's out this week in the East Coast. Oh no, it might. Florida gets things late. But the name of the episode tonight on Twilight Zone, he's out. Nervous Man in a $4 room. And this has one of the coolest openings, right, Jerry? Because fucking Serling walks on the top of the hotel room floor, and he's over the guy. It's episode 39 of the Twilight Zone. It's season 2, episode 3. Mm-hmm. And this is the opening narration. This is Mr. Jackie Rhodes, age 34. And where some men leave a mark in their lives as a record of their fragmentary existence on Earth, this man leaves a blot, a dirty, discolored blemish to document a cheap and undistinguished sojourn amongst his betters. What you're about to watch in this room is a strange mortal combat between a man and himself, for in just a moment, Mr. Jackie Rhodes, whose life has been given over to fighting adversaries, will find his most formidable opponent in a cheap hotel room that is really in reality the outskirts of the Twilight Zone. So this dude lives in this $4 hotel room, and he's nervous, he's edgy. Yeah, he gets a phone. George. He gets a phone call from this guy named George, who's basically hiring him as a low rent criminal activity, and he's been arrested before, and he's had all kinds of problems. He's lost women over it. And he basically is having this horrible time. And George asks him to kill a bar owner. Just kill him. That's what you got to do tonight. That's your job tonight. And he's like, I can't do that. If I have that gun, I'm going to go to jail. So he's a coward in his real life, right? He's this cowardly man. And then he starts looking at the mirror. And in the mirror is his inner self. His inner super ego. What Jackie Rhodes could be if he was a real person, if he was thinking about himself and figuring out ways to better himself. Right. And so this fight ensues between
mixed with a conscience.
Mixed with a conscience. And he's like, we shouldn't be doing all these crimes. We should, you lost that woman because you allowed her to go and you got married and left us behind. And at one point, the guy in the mirror says, let me take over.
Yeah, let me out.
Let me out, and I will try to fix this. And so there's a big fight, a big squabble. And eventually, George comes, and George, he's battered Jackie before. He's, called him a coward and all these things. But when George comes this time,
he comes back. He says, if I have to come back here and you didn't kill that guy, I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you. But when he gets there, Jackie Rhodes, the coward, has given himself over to his super ego. And he basically beats the shit out of George and says, I don't need your job. I don't need your life. He then calls the hotel people and is like, no, this is my name. My name is John Rhodes, not Jack. And John then walks out of the room, looks back in the mirror, and sees only his confident self-reflection. Closing narration is exit Mr. John Rhodes. Formerly a reflection in a mirror, a fragment of someone else's conscience. A wishful thinker made out of glass, but now made out of flesh, and on his way to join the company of men. Mr. John Rhodes with 1 foot through the door and 1 foot out of the Twilight Zone. And the thing is, what I thought the most about this episode, right? This is Fight Club. Mm-hmm. Because he creates he creates Tyler Durden because he's a coward inside, right? So it is. I would not be surprised if David Fincher had seen this episode. It's a really good episode, and it's not one I don't remember ever seeing this one.
No,
Like I don't remember ever seeing it, because what stands out in this episode is Serling. The introduction is boss, because he's essentially walking on the floor above the guy in the hotel room, but you can see him in the hotel room. So he's kind of like standing on the top of the set. And this, God,
I also like when he spins the mirror, and John's in the mirror, and every spin he's getting closer and closer. Like that's him coming out of the mirror. That was pretty cool effect for then, you know.
It is a really well done episode that I don't think gets a lot of praise or hype, but I think it's also one of the episodes where we get the idea that the Twilight Zone is some of the episodes it has are just striking, and they're well done, and they're amazing. Okay, Kyle, come on back. Next week.
Back.
Well, not next week. I'm sorry. January 14th, when we come back, we will have a thing about machines, which is one of the great episodes. It's about machines taking over the earth. So tell me it's not Maximum Overdrive first.
Right.
But that's
before we do anything else,
a little bit of housekeeping. We are gonna come back and do some retrofitting and all kinds of things, moving things around my room and all kinds of stuff. So we'll be back January 14th. We're gonna take a good 3 weeks off. I have to get some dental work done in the first week of January. So that is why I'm either that or
Welcome to Loud and Nerdy.
Hi, how you doing? I just had a tooth out. So that's why we're taking an extra little bit extra time.
You never know when there might be a snippet or something dropped on the channel, though.
Yeah,
So
we've got a lot of stuff from Disney. I might be dropping a couple like reviews of Nosferatu and a couple other things that are coming out. The Nicole Kidman movie, the super sexy one's coming out on Christmas Day too. Just weird movies coming out on Christmas Day. And maybe some Sonic and Mufasa stuff.
Hold that thought. Melissa, get your camera ready. Jerry, put your came from Jerry's basement video back up so she can screenshot it there to see what she has to look up to watch.
1986.
Abducted with Grizzly Adams. Other business, first and foremost, well, I just want to say I love you both, and I want to wish you both, your family, your everybody in your lives, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and that's everybody who's watching the channel. And so she's talking about and my channel, my channel too. She's been doing a crap load of movies. My channel too, not weird, isn't it weird? Don't you think it's weird? It's weird, right? You can say that, right? Or can't you? Yeah. Blink twice if you're okay.
We plugged it, and
we did plug it, and then she's still still mad.
No, I mean there's a delay. So,
okay.
but
yeah, Mrs. got some stuff going on. Oh, I'll be doing reviews too. I can work freely, and then I can get my teeth done the first week of January.
I want a review of your dental work. I want a 1-minute review of your dental work.
The panoramic.
Something that rhymes with tooth banal. Something that rhymes with toot banal. Might be happening. So, oh wait, one more just for
has the word anal in it.
Anyway, it's that bad. When you see it, you'll understand. I'm doing it justice. We do want to plug show business. World Class Clown Robert Bass, Thursday, December 19th, this week, 10 p.m. He has his Christmas special. We're looking forward to that. Cindy Kamora, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you as well, you and your family. It is my birthday.
We'll probably start around 10:15 though.
It might start at 10, and he might get there at 10:15, 10:30.
Nice.
But that's okay. You can be fashionably late. Also, we want to again plug January 9th, Troy Hill Talks premieres. Super nice guy. Please pay attention. Indie Escape Network also wants to wish everybody a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all of those things. Whatever you celebrate, we love you and we thank you for watching our shows. We will be back Tuesday, January 14th. And Generation will be back Monday, January 13th. So we'll be back full on to join the network. What else you guys got? Come on, say something nice to your family and friends.
Happy holidays to everyone. Enjoy.
Kyle, anything? You're like, no, I hate Christmas and all these packages.
I will this morning and this avalanche of parcels.
Yeah, be nice to your mailman. Be very kind. And also, I want to get this on there. These are my nephews. These are the kids I live for every day. This is Caleb meeting Santa with his Sonic shoes and his smile that at one point he literally had that smile with this holding his arms that we had to go to him and say, put your arms down. You look like you're standing up to Santa. Hunter's coming home. Super excited for you guys that Hunter's coming home. That's Caleb. Say hi to Caleb in the comments. This is Jacob, my other nephew. He's 8. He's also wearing his Sonic shoes. He was so excited to meet Santa. His picture looked like he was head elf and he won a prize. It's total opposite to picture. He's like, I'm super excited. I won Santa, and then Caleb just looks like, I'm not impressed with you, buddy.
Yeah, he's like,
you better bring us shit or we're gonna have a problem. And everybody have a safe, happy, healthy holiday season. Don't do too much bad stuff. Happy holidays, Caleb Kesleb. It's Jacob.
I do that all the time. I find
that comment sounds drunk. Love you, Caleb and Jacob. Merry Christmas, boys. Yeah, they are super excited. They want to come on the shows, but it's like it's a little bit late for them. But when maybe at some point. But Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Thank you for joining us. We'll see everybody on January 14th. Have a good one. And Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night. Bye, folks.